Okay, we are on math. This is Math 2, Unit 10, Worksheet 5. We are now going to do the 1 through 5 that I initially asked you guys to skip. Is everybody here with me? Because if you have this page blank, you're not going to receive credit. So that means everybody has it out, everybody is listening, and we are all ready to work. What was that? Right now it's blank. Right now it's blank, but I'm going to do it with you guys. Are we ready?
I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh.
Found it? Okay. Now, number 1. Number 1. Solve the equation for x. Do we have the tools to solve this? Now, really quick, what are we looking for if we take the y and make it 0? The x something, the what?
X-intercept.
Thank you. We are looking for the x-intercepts. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to call on Ike. Can you give me the first step? Louder? Add the 4 to the other side. Do you guys all agree with him? All right. 4 equals x plus 3 quantity squared. Wendy, give me the next step. Let me zoom in. If there was a coefficient right here, you would divide, but since there's not, what am I going to do to both sides? Thank you. Because square root is the what operation? Thank you. Inverse operation of a squared, what does it do? It will undo. All right. Now, what's the square root of 4? Equals x plus 3. No one's going to stop me. Thank you. Plus or minus. And then what am I going to do with the 3? Subtract it over. I like to bring it to the front. Now, I'm going to put an arrow over here. That gives me x equals negative 3 plus or minus 2. I just went over this. On the test, if you left it like that, would I mark it wrong?
Yeah.
Yes. Was that what you were going to ask?
Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 3 plus.
Good job. Does it matter which one you do first? No. Okay, negative 3 minus 2 is negative. And then negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Okay. Graph the function y equals blah, blah, blah. How do I translate this?
3 goes down, right, and then negative 4 down, right?
3 goes to the right or to the left? Left, because it's opposite. 1, 2, 3, and then down 4, I heard?
Yes.
Okay. And is it opening up or down? Up. Okay, hold on before you open it up. What did we just say we were finding over here? X-intercepts. So can I write this as x-intercepts?
Yeah.
So what would that be? Not negative 5 comma negative 1. It would be negative 5 comma 0 and then negative 1 comma 0. So what do I want you to do with those 2 points right now? Plot them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1. Now, what do we know? Do you guys agree this is going to be the axis of symmetry? Because it always goes to the vertex. All right. Should the x-intercepts be equidistant on each side from the axis of symmetry?
Yes.
Are they in this case?
Yes.
So does it make sense graphically how these x-intercepts work?
Yes.
All right, so you open up, go through those x-intercepts. Where can you see the answers from part A on your graph? They are your what?
X-intercept.
Thank you. They are the x-intercepts. All right, I'm going to have you guys do number 2. Yes?
I see how you got the negative 1, but how did you get the negative 5?
Negative 3 minus 2. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 3 plus negative 2. You add the opposite, and it's negative 5. And we got that because it was plus or minus 2. So negative 3 plus 2, negative 3 minus 2. Okay? All right, next one, Ashley, can you give me the first step? Subtract the 4. And that is -4 equals the quantity of x minus 5 squared. Do you guys all agree with her first step? Yes? Alex, can you give me the second step?
Isn't it 2 equals quantity x minus 5?
Okay, so you're saying square root both sides?
Yeah.
Okay, square root both sides. Do you guys agree with her? Why? Because the square root is the what operation of a squared? Inverse operation. What do they do to each other? They undo each other. They stop. Okay. Can I take the square root of a negative?
Throw away.
Okay. And hers is in here?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Taking a step back. Can we square root a negative? When I'm looking for x-intercepts, I cannot. So, do you remember what we write? No real solution. You are close. Why no real solution? Does that mean there's fake solutions?
It's all reals. There's an all reals, so there can be a
You're right. He's right. There's such a thing as all real, so there has to be such a thing as no real. But what do we call those non-real solutions? We don't call them fake solutions. Starts with an I.
Intercepts. Inverse.
Imaginary.
Imagination.
All right.
Wait, that means
There is an imaginary solution. We'll learn that next unit.
Imaginary is not fake.
no way.
Imagination.
Imagine.
All right, listening. Shh. Guys, listening.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is the difference between fake and imaginary?
We don't have fakes. We don't call them fake solutions. We call them imaginary. We just don't call them fake.
Call them non-real solutions.
All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'm just going to write that so they know that it is. And the time, the date is 27/19. Thank you. All right, guys. Okay, so no real solution. We talked about this on this side of the worksheet. What does it mean if you have no real solution? What does it mean about your x-intercepts?
So you can't do nothing.
There's no
No y-intercept. No x-intercept.
x-intercept. So it'll always be a y. Gentlemen, ladies, do you guys hear that? If there's no real solution, that means there's no what? Not y, but x-intercepts. Okay, let's sketch this. I'm going to call on Ronnie. Tell me which way to translate this. Write 5 up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. He said write 5 up 4. Do we all agree?
Yes.
All right. Noe. It's positive, so is it opening up or down? Up. Do you guys agree? Now, if it's opening up, will it eventually hit the y-axis eventually over time?
Yes.
Yes. Is it going to hit the x-axis over time?
No.
No. Why not?
It's going up, not down.
It's going up, not down, and algebraically, what did we end up with?
No real solution.
No real solution, which means no x-intercepts. Does it make sense graphically and algebraically that there's no x-intercepts?
Yes.
Okay, where can you see the answer? Bless you. Where can you see the answer from part A in your graph? There are no what? There are no x-intercepts, which makes sense. When I graphed it, I ended up with none. When I solved it algebraically, I ended up with none, so it all ties in. Okay, I am going to have you do number 3. I'm going to have you do that one on your own, quickly.
That's hard.
What do you go? Okay, you tell me what's your first step.
You subtract the 8.
Okay, he gave you the first step. You guys can finish the rest. Okay, so I have -8. Guys, since I've not done one of these with you today in this little session, I would like to at least go over the next step. Who can tell me what the next step is?
Square root it.
Everything.
Okay, pause. This is the one I asked Jason. What do I do? Divide. I don't distribute the -2. I divide the -2.
Ooh.
Okay, what's -8 divided by -2?
Positive 4, I think.
All right, now I'll let you guys finish, and you will be square rooting both sides.
Oh, on the yellow.
Don't forget your plus and minus.
Hey.
Easy. Easy. Wait.
Did you square root both sides already?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm about
Baloo, can you tell me what you end up with on this side when you square root both sides? Hey,
Yeah.
you do know. What's the square root of 4?
2.
2. And what happens with the square root and the squared? They undo each other because they're inverse operations. Do we agree? No?
Isn't that plus
I
minus?
agree with
Good
you.
job.
Whereas, yes.
Plus, minus.
Uh,
All right, add your 3.
yellow.
3 plus or minus 2 is my solution. Is it okay to leave the answer like this? No. We're going to do 3 plus 2 and
3 minus 2.
3 minus 2. What's 3 plus 2?
5.
Wait.
Yes?
Y'all
Oh,
tripping.
okay, never mind.
Wait, what the heck? Where did you get the?
I know she squared
Oh,
it.
wait, never mind.
How was it? Okay.
We're good?
Yeah.
Ask me a question.
I'm good.
Yes. Oh, you good? Okay. 3 plus 2 is 5. What's 3 minus 2?
6. It's 6.
1.
It's 6.
No, you fool.
Do we add them together?
We're adding and subtracting, not multiplying.
So
So,
once you get the 5 and the 1, what do you do?
okay, then, guys, what, shh, stop. What do these two x values represent?
Power.
The x-intercepts.
Oh.
5, 0, and 1, 0.
Wait, so they're both x-intercept?
They're both x-intercepts.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why was it -5? Is this the same problem? This is a different problem.
This is number 3. This is the one I let you guys start on your own, then I just came back in and finished it. Well, I did part of it with you.
Wait, so I did something wrong. Wait, no, I didn't.
Does it make sense
So-
now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So does it open wide or thick?
Okay, now here's good question. Listen, here's the mistake kids make. And I brought this up earlier. Where am I messing up if I say -2 is smaller than 1, therefore it is wide? Where did I mess up?
The sign.
Absolute
negative.
value. I don't look at -2, I look at 2 and it's not smaller than 1, it is,
Bigger.
which means it is
Bigger.
Smaller.
thin or smaller or narrow. Okay, let's plot this. Isaac, can you tell me which way I'm going to translate here?
Oh, you go right 3 and up 8.
Okay, I'm going to draw in my axis of symmetry, which I should have done on number 2 and I did not. Apologies. I always want you to put them in. Which way is this parabola opening if it's negative? Down. And we already concluded it's thin, but what else do we have to guide us besides just knowing it's thin? It's x-intercepts. And are they both equidistant from the LOS? Yes. Thank you. AOS.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I warned you guys I would occasionally call it LOS, but thank you. AOS. Do you guys remember what LOS stood for? Line of symmetry. But we call it now axis of symmetry.
I thought
All right.
it stood for Leapfrog Association.
Line of scrimmage is what I always have football players tell me. All right,
Leapfrog Association.
guys. Listening. Questions here. Okay. Where can you see the answers from part A on your graph? Same as number 1. They are
Intercept.
the x-intercepts. Okay. I'm going to have you guys go ahead and do number, whatever that is, 4.
Yeah, that's a lot of work for one problem.
Which, and Isaac, did I have you guys doing these on your own?
No.
No, I did it with you.
These
So
are
we're not
lying.
complaining, right?
Ungrateful.
Sorry, Miss Corey.
All right, number 4, quick question. Is there anything to add or subtract to the other side?
No.
No. Is there anything to divide to the other side?
No. Well,
Yes, what do you have to divide?
5.
Because we can't distribute, remember that. But what's 0 divided by 5? It's still 0.
Stat roll.
All right, go ahead and finish.
Got you.
Do you redeem?
The square root thing?
Yeah.
What do you guys say? He's asking, should you square root both sides?
Yeah.
No.
Yes?
Well, no.
Wait.
Can you square root the 0?
No.
Okay. What the square root of 0 is?
0.
Why? Because 0 times 0
It's
is
always 0.
0. So is the square root of 0 0?
Yeah.
But when you put plus or minus, is it necessary in a 0?
Never.
Because positive 0, negative 0 is still
0.
0. Okay. Do you guys agree? In this instant, the plus and minus doesn't affect anything. I don't have to write it. I did it originally, but it's gone. Okay, so then I subtract the 4. And you only get one answer. What answer do you get?
Negative 4.
You don't plus or minus this answer. You plus or minus the 0. But plus or minus 0 is just 0. All right, so how many x-intercepts do you end up with?
Just
1. Okay, plot that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0.
1, 2.
Is it possible for a parabola to have only one x-intercept? Yes, it is. It was not on the quiz, but it was on one of the worksheets. Okay, let's translate this. Let me see. I'm going to call on Angelina. Which way does this translate?
It's gonna be thin.
Left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then does it go up or down if there's no number at the end? No. Does my vertex end up being on the x-intercept? Yes. Which way is it opening? Up. And Isaac said it is thin. Do you guys agree with him?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, up and thin. And then your axis of symmetry. And does it make sense that this parabola has only one x-intercept that is negative 4, 0? Okay, where can you see the answer from part A?
On the X.
It is
Hey.
the 1. There's only one x-intercept. Okay, go ahead and answer number 5.
Got you.
Do you have to put the 1? In
It is the x-intercept. No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, because I used the word is instead of are. They are, meaning there was more than one. And it is, there was only one. All right. Look carefully at the equations in part A and the function in part B for problems 1 through 4. Why does plugging in 0 for y, we've talked about that before. Why do we plug 0 in for y when we're looking, why does that give us an x-intercept?
Because it's on the X-intercept.
And what happens when you're on the x-intercept? When you're on the x-axis, what is your y value?
Left and right. Wait, oh, what?
When you're on an x-intercept, any x-intercept, when you're on a point on the x-axis, what is your y value going to be? 0. So does it make sense that you plug in y equals 0 when you're looking for an x-intercept? Yeah, so write something like that down. When you're looking for an x-intercept or any point on the x-axis, y equals 0. Yes?
Would it make sense if I was just the 0 allows for y to be the only variable to exist? Like, you know, like, instead of having like x and y, then they would be like terms like that.
Okay, repeat it again.
So, I would say, like, would it be an acceptable answer if I had the 0 just allows x to be the only variable in the equation?
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yes. Okay. Are we good? Okay, flip this over. Yes. You have to explain. It says, look carefully, blah, blah, blah. Why does plugging in 0 for y and solving for x find the x value of the point the function crosses the x-axis? They're pretty much asking you, why is it when we're looking for x-intercepts do we make y equal to 0? why does making y equal to 0 help us find x-intercepts?
Yeah.
So why is that? Because any intercept on the x-axis, the y value is always 0, right? Because you go left 5, you don't go up or down. You go right 1, you don't go up or down. So something down here you want to say, because when y is 0, it gives you a point on the x-axis. That would be good. When y equals 0, it'll always give you a point on the x-axis, which technically is an x-intercept. Got it?
Okay.
Are we done with this?
Yes.
Do we have enough time to like